name is Mitch Casperson, and I'm 12 years old. About 1 year ago, I had trouble falling asleep. I didn't have any idea why. I didn't think I was stressed at school or anything at all. It just was I couldn't fall asleep, I guess. My parents bought me a sound machine, and I tried that for a while, but it didn't help at all. They bought blackout shades, thinking that it would help with the outside house lights coming in, but that didn't help at all. I tried the Calm app. This is an app that had some soothing music and meditation stories from a basketball player, LeBron James. I tried that for a week, and that didn't help at all either. If any of you had ever had problems with your sleep, you know how frustrating this can be. Your anger takes over and makes it worse, and you can feel completely helpless. I would eventually get some sleep, but I would wake up feeling horrible. My anger about the situation kept getting worse, so falling asleep got worse. I would hate the thought of bedtime because I knew I didn't have control. I felt hopeless, and it was getting the best of me. One night, I was laying on my side, staring at my bedside table. I have a wooden cross lying there that I got from my aunt and uncle while they were in Israel. I picked it up and held it close. I was going to pray and ask God for help. My frustration and hopelessness quickly left me as I concentrated on my words to God. Please, God, look at me. I'm a mess. Please, please help me sleep. Amen. I couldn't believe it. The next thing I knew, I was opening my eyes in the morning and felt well rested. I still find myself continuing to pray to Him and close my eyes when I feel I have issues again falling asleep. I can say that this has been working for a year now, and I will continue to do it. God shows up when you most need Him. I guess you just have to turn to Him more often. Ask for help and put your trust and love in Him.
This is kind of low, but we're gonna make do. My name is Zach Peterson. Let's slide this way so you can all see me. Hi, how we doing? My name is Zach Peterson. I'm 17. I'm a junior at Wauwatosa West. How many of you know my father by a raise of hands? Yeah. Okay, so you all know that he's pretty crazy. So what he decided to do is buy a hot tub in the middle of that freezing cold weather we had. And I was blown away. I was like, what are you talking about, Dad? Like, it's gonna be cold outside. And he's like, all the more reason to buy a hot tub. And so we ended up buying one. We bought a used one from this house. Don't remember the exact location, but that's not important. It's in the middle of fields, basically. So there's not a lot there. It's just a big, gigantic field, and then a gigantic house. And we find the hot tub, it's on the porch, everything looks fine, and then we realize they drained it, and which is helpful, but the only problem is they drained it and all the water just kind of stayed around the hot tub, and then it's been, negative degrees outside, so it's frozen, and the hot tub's frozen to the ground, and me and my dad are frustrated because we can't, it's me and him, and we can't just break all this ice off because that's going to take way too long and everything, so we're getting frustrated, and we're just trying to move it and try to nothing's working. And we sat and pondered at the idea of what we could do, and the crane guy that we called had no tools except for a screwdriver, and we're like, how is that gonna help us? So we sat there for maybe 15 minutes of just our backs up against a wall and trying to push the hot tub in different locations and pushing up and down in all these different ways. And eventually the lady who owns the house came out and said, hi, I'm Emily. Nice to meet you guys. What seems to be the problem? And we're like, well, the hot tub's frozen to the ground. And she's like, oh, that's too bad. I think it's called a dolly in my garage. And me and my dad look at each other because we both know what that is. And if you don't know what a dolly is, it's like it's like yay high, and it's got a lever at the bottom. It's like a crowbar, but except it's perfect for moving a hot tub. And I follow her through the house, and I get lost following her to the garage because that's how big her house is. And that's all fun and games. And then I see the dolly, and it's like brand new, and it's taking it back out. It works perfectly, and we get this hot tub, off the ground in like 2 minutes, and it's floating in the air by this crane. And me and my dad are pondering at the thought while we're waiting for the crane to put the hot tub on the ground. We're like, wait, how do you have a dolly? Like, that makes no sense. You moved out 4 months ago. And she's like, well, the people that helped us move never took it back, so we have it. And I remember walking into the garage after, and the garage is barren. There's nothing in the garage except for the dolly. And I think looking back on it, that's really Jesus. Jesus is that, that one tool in the toolkit that never really goes away, that, even if everything's gone, you still have Jesus to look back on. And I think that really helped me and my dad. Our frustration subsided, and now we have a hot tub that I was spending a lot more time in. Thank you.
The time where I felt God was truly around me all starts back in 8th grade when I was picking out classes for next year, and I remember thinking of doing AP Human Geo, which is evidence placement geography. And I remember talking to my teacher, and she said, Ryan, you're smart enough, but if you're going to do it, you really need to put in work, stay focused, really know what you're doing. So, I ended up taking the class, and at first, I remember I thought it was super easy, and I was like, I can do this, this isn't too bad. I think I can get through this. So I remember as the year went on, I kept doing less and less. I thought I could breeze through it and do very well on the test. And as time went on, I thought, wow, I'm actually struggling in this class. It is hard. I'm not going to be able to do good on the test, the final exam. And for a second, I was really, really worried. But before that got too stressful, we signed up for classes for the following year. And I remember thinking, I'll do AP US. I'm smart enough, whatever. I'll do it because I'm a smart guy. I can do it. And I remember taking the AP Geo test. I remember failing it. I didn't know what I was doing. I tried it. I just couldn't do it. Now, because I failed the Geo test, when I went back to school, I thought there's no way I could do US. If I just failed that, I'm not going to be able to do it. And I'm talking to my counselor, and she said, Ryan, you are smart enough. I want to see you challenge yourself and push through this. I don't want to be in this class. I don't want to do this. It's too hard. I'm not going to be able to do anything in this class. So, I kind of just sit back, kind of tuned out, didn't really focus, didn't really try, put in no effort, same as last year. I just didn't do it. And then I remember one day, the teacher sees me before class and goes, Ryan, take a little walk with me. Let's get my lunch. So, I go with him to the break room, and as he opened the fridge, he looks at me and he goes, so why'd you take this class? And I said, I don't know, it's a class, and, I just want to take it. And he goes, well, why are you here? And I was like, well, what? He said, what do you want to get out of this? And I said, I don't know. He said, everybody has something they want to do. And I think you want to be successful. You want to try your hardest. You want to get through the obstacles. You want to overcome stuff. And I just was like, whoa. He goes, I'm going to help you through it. We're going to get through this together. That really stuck with me. I was like, wow, this guy wants me to do good. I actually started trying after that. I was putting in work. I actually made this kind of my top priority. I was doing it every night, but ahead of some other classes, and I truly felt like something clicked, and I could see it starting to affect how I was doing that class. I could understand what I was doing, and he knew it too. He would pull me over a couple times and say, I see you're improving, but it's not good enough. He kept saying that. He said, and one time he said, always be grateful, but never be satisfied. You always do good work. You should appreciate that, but always know you can do more. That really stuck with me, you know. Always pushing myself, always persevere. And I thought, wow, I could be doing a lot better, you know. And I kept doing it, kept researching, kept doing more and more until I felt like I could really do this anytime. I could do it in my sleep. I thought I was the best. And then when I took that test, it showed. I got a very high score on the final exam. I proved out to be very well. And my teacher pulls me over in the halls and he says, well done, you know. That's what you get. You put in work, you do what you want, you get results. And what he taught me in that class and outside the class has stuck with me to this day, and I always remember his word. You know, he's just very helpful, and I could see that he guided me in the right path, and it really helped.
We heard in Scripture Jesus say, "Take up your cross and follow me." And the youth, as they were reflecting on taking up the cross, they thought, well, that's the challenges, right? The hard stuff in life. And so we heard 3 stories of challenges that youth faced. And what I found beautiful in those stories was how they named that the challenge was met somehow. In the first one, that Mitch literally took up his cross and found the relaxation he'd been looking for that allowed him good sleep. That Zach and his father, in the chaos of not quite knowing what they're doing with a hot tub, suddenly found the perfect tool they needed to make it work. That Ryan, in struggling through a class, found someone who was there to support and to guide him when he needed it most. And I think all of them found in this passage of take up your cross and follow me, they found another passage that Jesus says earlier in the same gospel, where he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The cross sounds like something heavy, but in our faith we know that when we take up the challenges of life, when we take up the cross as Jesus calls us, he says, "The cross I give you is easy and light because I am with you in the midst of what you are doing." I invite you to take a moment, reflect on the times that you've taken up the cross in your life and followed Jesus. And as you do, I also invite you to get ready for communion. For those at home, find some bread and wine. For those in the sanctuary, if you did not grab one of the paper bags on your way in with the communion supplies, please just take a moment to go back out to the narthex and grab one of those paper bags.